Good morning, good morning. Just getting going today. How is everyone this morning? You guys be sure to share this live. Somebody on your timeline needs this. So I believe this is Pleiadian and Arcturian frequencies. How many of you still drink coffee every morning? Good morning, good morning. A Florida cracker. That's a funny name. I'm not poking fun, I just think it's cool. Okay. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Tuned in and turned on to our God frequencies. Please come in, allow these frequencies to move through your body. And for some reason, I have had 2 updates that they have done on my phone, and it's been at night when I'm sleeping and when my phone shuts off and it doesn't turn back on and then my alarm doesn't go off. 2 times this week it's done that, so that's why I'm late. Sorry. Finally have come to the acceptance that I just don't fit in anywhere. that's okay. When you go through going through your spiritual journey, and you start awakening, and God starts moving people out of your life, that does not always look pretty. Okay? And a lot of times we have to go through this process and allow people to leave. My fireplace is powering on and off by itself right now. I'm a full-time camper, and I'm a camper, and I have a heater, an electric heater, that I use to substitute my propane heat, and it's turning on and off right now by itself. It's powering on and off, I should say, right now by itself. There it goes again. It just turned back on. Good morning. Good morning, little friends. I don't know why it's doing that. It's an older electric heater for like a fireplace heater for like your house. And yeah. So stuff like that happens all the time. And it's just turning on and off. Well, so here's something that I've learned along the way. It is a very painful process to be separated from the rest of the world. And it's something that naturally happens. That can look like friction within your life. If you have people that are disrespecting you or throwing shade on your name behind your back, or conspiring against you, or doing things that intentionally set you back through the things that they do, God will remove them from your life. And through healing, you get to a point where you cannot accept certain things. You cannot accept if somebody's going to treat you poorly. You cannot accept if their energy is giving you negative feedback, as far as if they hold contentment towards you, or if they hold anxiety towards you, or if they're jealous of you, or you can just sense it. You can just feel it. It's just something, it's an energetic push that moves through you. And it's something that cannot be denied. And through the process of that relationship, you get confirmed, because the truth always comes out no matter what. And so, when those people are separated, those relationships end. I've had to do that with my family, because if somebody isn't actively working on themselves, then they are going to continue the same patterns that they've always had. And it's a subconscious thing. When we go through this process, it's subconscious for these people to continue repeating those same patterns, because they are not consciously aware of how they are acting. They're not consciously aware of the way they are acting. so they cannot treat you any differently. And you can explain it to them a million times and they will never hear you. And they will never understand you because they were not meant to be in your life. So as we go through this process and we allow these people to leave, we allow the negativity to leave, then our life starts to change and alchemize. You know, I've gone through this process and I've literally been alone for 8 years. 8 years. Imagine what that entails day in and day out. I have my daughter, and she has been my saving grace. But she's also my daughter. So it's a little bit different when, you know, you need somebody to talk to, or, you know, you want somebody to go out with, or, you know, you just don't, there's certain things that you just don't share with your children. And so it's a different form of a connection or part of the support system. And when you lose the other adults in your life, like your parents or your siblings, it's a very painful process, but I'm a very friendly, open person. I am very serving no matter where I go. If I see a need, I'm going to fill it. And slowly, God has removed people from my life that weren't good for me, or people that have not had my best interests have been removed. And the universe naturally does that. It will naturally remove the people that are working against us. And especially if we live life on purpose for a purpose. And so that's something to keep in mind if you have people that are being separated, or if you have people that are in your life that are unhealthy for you. Allow them to be separated from your life. I've spent day in and day out processing and healing this stuff alone for 8 years. And because I grew up into the system from a small child, 14 and up, I guess I shouldn't say from a small child, 14 and up, I was in and out of the system, group homes, foster homes. I became a ward of the state. At like 16 or 17. And God became the person that I had to go to for things. You have to get to a certain point where the approval of other people is not what satisfies us. Seeking approval from the outside world isn't something that God wants for our lives. God wants us to be able to go to the source and find the answers that we need. And all the answers that we need are within us. So what that means is, as we go about our day, if we were to ask God a question, God would bring us that answer through signs and synchronicities, because that's how God talks to us, through signs, synchronicities, and coincidences. There's no such thing as a coincidence. That's divine communication. That's divine communication. You guys be sure to share this live. Somebody on your timeline needs what I have to offer. They need to know what I know. They need to hear what I have to say. A lot of people are are going through the dark night of the soul right now, struggling with depression, anxiety. I have overcome CPTSD. That's from a lifetime of just chronic turmoil. And unexpected and unfortunate events. Kind of crazy. You guys ever seen that movie? I can't remember the whole title of it, but something with unfortunate events. Anybody remember that movie? When I saw that movie, everything changed. Unfortunate events started happening. So I've had to become secure in myself. I've had to depend on myself. And I've only had myself for answers. I've not been able to go to the outside world for my answers. Thank you guys. I love you too. Who is that? L. I hope I don't botch it up. Taylor. L. Taylor. I'll have to look up what that means. But welcome, welcome everybody. A slider teeter. So, we've had some pretty interesting things just happen in here this morning. I had I have a visitor or an electronic malfunction. One of the two. My fireplace is turning itself off and on this morning. But we're just getting tapped in, tuned in, and turned on this morning. El Tillier. And, good morning, Charlie. But I, am just explaining to people about the separation that happens when we go through a spiritual awakening. And we will lose a lot of people in our lives. We will lose friends, family, jobs, connections. And then we just need to allow them to leave. And not try and hold on to them or beg them to stay or try and make deals with them so that they can try and act right. And we need to allow the things to leave our lives that no longer serve us. And I mean that in a literal sense. If it isn't bringing you something that is beneficial to your life, and it is just sucking the life out of you and taking everything from you, requiring you just to give. Those are the things that God is removing from our lives. If people are not honoring you and they are not respecting you and they aren't doing it equally as well when you're not around, those people will be removed. And we hear that funny quote online or see it, whatever, in a post I've seen it, where it said that God heard conversations that you didn't when you were not around. And that is why those people were separated. So allow them to leave. Because that is your divine protection against any harmful things happening in your life. So when God starts to remove people, even if it's family, even if it's your favorite family member, even if it's your best friend, allow them to leave. Because they cannot go to the places that you're going. They were not meant to be on the journey that you're on. And when somebody is not honoring us behind our back, the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, the Most High Spirit of God, will absolutely remove them from our life. And unfortunately, I haven't known the best people with the best intentions that have been in my life. I mean, I've had to allow them to leave. I've had to allow my family to be separated. And that's a very painful process to accept and transmute. But the reason why you can't allow those kinds of people back into your life is because they cause dissension in your energy. If you're constantly having to people please and show up for them, but they don't for you, that's not healthy. It needs to be a reciprocation involved. If you're in a connection where it is not reciprocated, then you need to be questioning that connection. If it's all sacrifice, and sometimes that is, you know what I mean, what we're supposed to do is sacrifice so that we can show that person a way out of their misery or mire. And sometimes life does require us to sacrifice, you know. And that, in return, if we're in a relationship with somebody and they're just giving, and we're just taking, God is going to remove us from that person's life because that person deserves more than what we are giving and putting into it. And that's where accountability comes in, to be self-assessing, to assess the situation so that you're constantly being accountable. I gotta let my Kona in. You're constantly being accountable for your behavior. Okay, I had to let my Kona in. He's such a good boy. Okay, come on, off. Say good morning, Konas. There's my Kona. Hi, Kona. That's my boy. He's the English Mastiff, for those of you who have not been here. But allowing these people to leave is the best thing that you can do for your life. I absolutely will not stay in any place that does not show me that they appreciate me. Because we can be like, oh, I appreciate you, I appreciate you, I appreciate you. Those are just words. So I need to see it in their actions. It needs to be both people putting in 110%, not a 50-50 thing. When I'm courting somebody, or when they're courting me, I am completely old-fashioned in that the male and female have their roles, and I am sexist when it comes to those things, and I don't believe in the women's liberation movement. I believe that men have a place and women have a place, and each role complements each other. Each role complements each other. If both people are out of the house, who's supposed to take care of the kids? You're allowing somebody else that you don't even know who they are, what they believe in. Do they believe in God? Do they believe in Satan? What's what is their take on life? Where's their head at? Where's their mind at? And then we just allow these people to raise our kids. That's why this world's so screwed up. And so it is possible to thrive with one income. It is possible. I mean, I'm doing it now. I mean, I'm not super rich, but I have things, I have goals. I'm able to obtain the desires of my heart. And so, anyways, I had like 10 things on my mind that I wanted to come and talk to you guys about. Of course, there's never enough time in the day to share what I have to do, and I have to go to work so I can afford to eat. But I would love to be able to come on here every day and spend more time with you guys and sharing what God has given me to share with the world as far as healing this world around us. So be sure to like this video, comment, subscribe. You guys show me some love and send me some gifts. This is TikTok. Everybody's supposed to sharing gifts, right? So, show me some love with that. But the next thing I wanted to talk about this morning, aside of being separated from people and allowing those negative things to leave people, places, and things, is the healthcare community. There's different phases of awakening. And I think that if you're in the general population of people who are not aware of what is happening in this world, it's either because you're super successful and you're just going to work and slaying life, and so you don't pay attention to the things that have transpired even over the past 10 years in the medical community. And really since, massively since the pandemic. And I had to go to the doctor yesterday to get my ear infection taken care of. Hey, good morning. Good morning, David Giesman. It's nice meeting you. I appreciate you coming in here. I hope that you have a great day. So, you guys have to understand I have a disassociation thing where if I know you and you have a different profile picture or something on your thing, I don't know you. So you have to tell me if you know me, and then I'll recognize you. Otherwise, I don't. I have a thing where we could talk every single day online, and I go to the grocery store and see you and not even know you. It's not intentional. It is not intentional. I am single. I've been single for 8 years, willfully, and it's a hard place to be, but I just have certain things that I don't negotiate, and I have yet to meet people that are honest enough to be able to walk by my side. I need a leader to lead me. I don't want to have to, I mean, I know in a relationship you both teach each other, but the man is supposed to lead. And so he really needs to understand what I understand, or know more than what I know, in order for me to be led. So, you know, I really try not to waste a lot of time texting with people, because nobody wants to provide proof of life. And so I don't just sit around and chit-chat and text with people. You know, I'm on different dating sites to try and find somebody, but nobody wants to follow through with my proof of life boundary and do a video chat. So that's one of the first things that I require when I meet somebody, is to do a video chat right away, so that we both know that we're real human beings and that we are who we say we are. Otherwise, it's just a big, huge waste of time. You know what I mean? And I was just explaining to people in here that I have been separated from the rest of the world for 8 years, and I have no problem being alone. I enjoy my peace time. I enjoy my solitude. I enjoy being alone. It's hard for me to go around people. Very, very hard for me to go around people now. Because I have a certain level of integrity that I operate in naturally, and if people can't be who they say they are, I generally don't give people any explanation. I just disappear, because people know when they aren't who they say they are, and I don't have the heart space to allow any more disappointments. Yeah, I can read your text. I'm not in messaging now, though. Okay, David, will you go into my DMs and I'll answer you? And then we'll set up a thing to do a video chat. Not gonna happen now, though, because I'm getting ready to get off of here and go to work. But, maybe sometime this evening or this weekend. I appreciate your interest. I am just, I require these things because I have been through so much with people that have not been honest. And in order to protect myself, I have these requirements. So, if people don't want to do the things that I need, like have the video chat, you know, before we waste any time with the, how are you doing, what's your name, where do you live, those kinds of things. If we can't have a face-to-face conversation prior to wasting all of that time, then I'm just not interested. And when you've become separated from the world through spiritual alchemy, it literally doesn't even bug you to just walk away. Like, there's no hard feelings. You don't feel anything negative about the person, like, you know, I wish they would, you know, have their karma. It has nothing to do with that. We don't wish bad karma on anyone. We just wish them saved. We wish that they would come to their highest path, and that they too would start the healing process, you know, and getting to know their innate carnal essence. That's what we wish on people. So, well, you know what, this music is, I think I've listened to a couple this morning. I put the link, it's pinned in the chat, so you can go and check it out for yourself. The people that, I don't make my own music. I do listen to it as my frequency, meditational music. And they all have, sharing capabilities to be able to share this with our content and to share it with other people. One of my favorite channels is Boss of Neuroscience. You guys got to go check that guy out. He has an amazing voice and does amazing work. Another one is Trans4am. It's called Trans4am on YouTube. And that guy also has an amazing voice and does amazing work. There's a link that is pinned on this live chat. You guys be sure to go to that link that I pinned in there and go visit that. Okay, these are frequency sounds, and these are scientifically proven to heal all elements within us. And you just have to find your frequency. And usually this stuff does feel good, and it will make you cry. Because it is, we are all frequencies. We're all frequencies, and once we get tapped into our frequency, it really, thank you, David, it really ignites something within us. It activates our own frequencies, our God frequencies. And people, that's hidden knowledge that they've kept from us. That's why before all of this awakening stuff, they started giving us all this knowledge and allowing us to obtain this knowledge. Music has always been something that people can relate to and connect to with, connect to each other with through music. Because those frequencies unite us. Music unites us. Frequencies unite us. That's why they're so good for us. So, David, you go in my DMs and we'll start a chat. Like I said, I will require proof of life as far as video goes, because I have been through a lot with people harassing and stalking and stealing and tracking. I've been tracked like a hound dog. I have been tracked like a hound dog since I lived down here in Tennessee. Up north, they're not that big on their tracking dogs. Down here they are, and they were tracking my truck with their tracking things for their stupid dogs. I guess I shouldn't say that too loud. They're actually probably pretty smart. They're probably smarter than the owners. So yeah, I have a lot to be. I have a lot to protect. Do you know what I'm saying? I have, and I don't know what it is with the narcissistic men that want to try and come in and try and squash me, or try and abuse me, or try and control me. It's like, oh, she can't be caught. Let me just see if I can go make her life miserable. That's why I've not dated people in 8 years. I've dated one guy in 8 years, and I lost $15,000 because he was a stooge. And he pretended to be something he wasn't. And he stole from me. And that was the last person that I allowed in my life. So that's why people have to meet my requirements. People are like, oh, well, you're going to be the old cat lady. Bring another cat. Be sure to drop off another cat. And I don't have a problem being the old cat lady. I think being the old cat lady actually sounds pretty enticing to me. You know, you get to go home and have a bunch of friendly critters that love you and only show you love. They might get a little greedy when it comes time to eat. That's your biggest argument, is dealing with hungry cats that maybe want to wake you up at 5 in the morning. Oh, what a horrible life. Don't threaten me with a horrible life. So that's where I'm at. That is where I'm at when it comes to dating, or even friends. This applies to business also. I will not work anywhere that does not appreciate me and what I have to offer. So, I guess we have a bunch of single people in here. You know, I don't know why people do that. You would have to ask them. You know, the last tracker that I had, I've had two since I've lived down here in Tennessee the past 2 years. Two different ones. The one I dated, the other one I wouldn't date. And he was even worse. Those are the ones that stole my cat. They kidnapped my cat. I had him 8 years. But yeah. I don't know why people do that. I don't know why people choose to want to try and hurt me or squash me. You'd have to ask them. I think it's because I irritate their demons. And they aren't stealing control of them, so they just kind of go everywhere. You know, like the Jezebel spirit. There's no direction. They just kind of flow through life and cause havoc wherever they go. Check my messages when I get off of here. But I'm glad you guys decided to join me this morning. I know I did a bunch of talking. We didn't do any meditating or anything, but hopefully these frequencies ignited something in you. Usually the frequencies are there to break code within our system. They're there to activate something within us, which leads us to a higher knowledge, or they're there for us to figure something out about ourselves, or learn, or reveal. And so when we hear these frequency music, it activates things inside of us. It activates stuff in our DNA strand. So that's why it's important to get tapped in, tuned in, turned on first thing in the morning, so that you can activate your God senses and be ready to deal with the day. So I've got to get off of here, you guys. I've got to go to work. Yeah, David, I'll go check my DMs and we'll have a chit chat. But right now I have to get off of here and get ready to go to work. So I work both my jobs today. So I won't be home till late, but I will be sure to touch base with you and get back. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for joining my live. I really do appreciate you, and I look forward to making a friendship and getting to know you better. This is Placidian music and Octurian music frequencies. I just went and followed you back, David, and so I'll catch up with you here in just a bit. So you guys can go back and look at my other videos. Another person that I use a lot on YouTube is Bosque Neuroscience. Bosque Neuroscience has amazing affirmations and frequency sounds. And then also Trans 4am is another channel on YouTube that does these frequency sounds. And these are the ones that I have found that resonate the most with my home base frequency. And so you'll find me posting those guys a lot because, one, they have amazing voices. There's something about their voices, both of those two, that it just feels, hearing their voices just makes me feel good inside. We're like, wow, that guy's got a great voice, you know. But both Bosque Neuroscience and then Trans 4am, I don't know if those guys are transgender or not on the trans forum. I don't judge them. It's none of my business what they are. But just forewarning, if you have an issue with those things, that channel could or could not be transgender. So there's that. Good morning, good morning. You guys be sure to tap into this link that is in the timeline. This will be good for you to keep for yourself so that you can start implementing these God frequencies, okay, in your own life. Frequencies are a game changer, and I promise you, if you are on the path to healing and recovery, frequencies, go find your frequency, and you're going to know if it's for you or if it's not. It's either going to irritate the crap out of you, and that means that's not your frequency, or it is going to bring an angelic, divine inner peace inside of you. It's going to do one of those two things. So, and that's how you know if those are your frequencies. These frequencies are the Pleiadian frequencies. So if you are from the star system Pleiades, which is where I come from, these frequencies are going to activate any dormant DNA that is still within your DNA strand. And it will take you to your highest form of frequency. And then that's really when you're going to see the shit falling apart in your life. Okay, but it's only going to fall apart to get better. Everything has to fall apart before it gets better. Have you ever rearranged a room and you're cleaning it out and it looks like a tornado hit it? And then slowly but surely, as you start to reform and put things away into their new place, everything starts coming together perfectly. And that's the same way spiritual alchemy works. Everything goes and looks like a total shit show. And you'll think, oh my God, what is happening here? Have I gotten off the line? No, you haven't. Everything's falling into place. Allow things to leave, fall apart, break away. Allow them to leave. And that's going to create more room, more space for the positive things coming into your life. The things that you're supposed to be entangled with. The frequencies that you're supposed to be engaging with. These frequencies activate us. So be sure to go visit this channel on YouTube. Be sure to go visit Bosk Neuroscience and Transforum. Those are my two favorite channels for frequencies. Okay? Thanks for coming in and getting tapped in, tuned in, and turned on to your God frequencies this morning, you guys. I am running late now. I'm home. I have about 15 minutes to do a PTA. Gotta shit, shower, and shave and hit that road. I have a late night tonight, so I won't be home until late. If you do need to chat with me, you can hit me up in my DMs. If you need energy healing, you guys can also hit me up in my DMs if you need energy healing sessions. If you just need a mentor for mind mastery, you can hit me up there. I also do basic personal training as well. So if you're looking to get in shape, you guys can hit me up for that purpose as well. Be prepared to do a video chat, and that's just to protect me and to protect you. So thanks for stopping in. Again, get tapped in, tuned in, and turned on to your God frequency every single day. Thank you guys. Reset your script. Tell a different story. Get a different life. Bye.